Hello there, wrestling fans! Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther the third, and man, oh man, Ringside crew. This is the fifth season of Dudes at Ringside. It blows my mind that I've interviewed so many awesome wrestlers from different states, different countries, and I have a person that just recently she retired from the wrestling business, but I had her back because it's awesome to check in with guests that have graced these awesome halls of the Dudes at Ringside studios. Welcome back to Dudes at Ringside. Welcome back.
Hi, everybody. For anyone who doesn't know me, I am Delilah Hayden. I am the alley cat of professional wrestling in New England.
Awesome. Well, I'm so happy to have you back. But what have you been up to since you're having your last match, or you had your last match?
I had my last match in the very first Saturday of December for the foreseeable future.
Mm. So, what were your thought processes when you decided decide to do it? Because I know that it takes a lot out of you being a professional wrestler, and I know that because I have a lot of people that I talk to in the business, and it's pretty much your everything, your whole, like, everything that goes on within a person's life being a wrestler. What was that thought process of doing that?
Um, so what kind of led up to it is the fact that it's something I really never fully pictured getting away from, but for a lot of people who don't know how many companies operate, is if you're a mainstay character or just player in one or two companies where, you know what, you're on every show or almost every show, unless you have something else to do, you're like a part of storylines, et cetera, et cetera. Companies give you your dates like a year in advance, like maybe not like a full year, but like 3-4 months before the end of a year, someone's like, hey, I have all my dates for next year. Can you guys confirm for them? And I made the decision that I'm getting to the point in my life where I would like to start a family, and I would not want to put a company in a position where, say, they have me in the middle of a program and then it's like, guess what? I have to drop out because I'm pregnant.
Mm.
It's one of those things that, fortunately, unfortunately, if it's something I want in life, it means I have to step away for a certain amount of time to properly, have the child, recover, etc. So I made the decision at the end of 2024, going into 2025, that wrestling has to be put on hold in order to pursue this part of my life. Wrestling will always be there. I may get to a certain point where it would not be safe. Despite medical science, it may not be safe for me to wait until I'm in my 40s or very late 30s, early 40s to have my first child.
Mm.
So that was like a huge factor playing into it. There's only really 2 or 3 companies I consistently worked for. There a few started like halfway through the year that I became a consistent player on their show, or I would have been had they had more dates. Or actually, no, 4 companies. But yeah, so I just let them know, like, hey, I'm still willing to do stuff behind the scenes. I can ring announce, I can do commentary. I actually now work behind the scenes at 2 different companies, and I might be doing some more work, but yeah, unfortunately, the actual in-ring portion has to stop for a while.
Mm. Yeah, that's tough because, like, if you're used to doing that every weekend, every Friday, Saturday, it must. And, like, I guess it was a bitter, it was a sweet ending for you. Like, who was your last opponent, and did that opponent, like, feel like that sense of sadness that they know that this is your last time you see them in the ring?
They definitely sensed it. My last opponent was this guy, Tough Talk Tony Spencer, who I've had an on and off feud with for about 10 years. So we've had a long history of, we knew each other outside of wrestling. met by chance at an anime convention, and he recognized me immediately, and he's like, "Aren't you Delilah Hayden?" And I'm like, "What?" Um, but so there were a lot of I ended in this company, Proving Grounds, that runs in the North Shore of Massachusetts, and there were a lot of different pitches back and forth. I came to the booker with like 6 different options, and most of them were rejected for one reason or another. I didn't agree with some of them, but some of them I understood. So then it came down to, okay, well, who can we pick? And then it came up, I was like, well, what about Tony? Tony has as of this moment, has a 5-0 losing streak against
Ooh.
me. Tony has never, in theory, like one was like a multi-person match, so I don't know how much we want to fully count elimination matches, but of our 4 singles matches, I have won every single time.
Mm.
And this was kind of like I announced in August. I was really trying to kind of keep it under wraps because I get when people go on these big retirement tours when they're really being like done, but I kind of just wanted to like let it be known, but not let it be known at the same time. I just didn't want people to start treating me differently. And I found out, I announced it in August after I faced Kid Bandit in, she flew in. And what we had, then Tony, after I announced to the crowd and explained why, that I have like 3 more shows here, and then you'll see me, but you won't. And then Tony came out and was like, no, 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 no. You are not equipped to take care of a house plan. You are not equipped. Why would you be allowed to have a child? And like went on this whole tirade, and it became, he was trying to hire people to take me out before I could retire. So he hired, from Maine, Alexander Lee, and out of Rhode Island, Nick Marchand, both amazing talents. And I was very happy to finally work with them one-on-one. And yeah, and then Tony and I faced each other in a holiday death match. At the end of the last show for Proving Ground at the end of the year is called Nothing Left to Prove. And ironically enough, it really has become Nothing Left to Prove, because almost the last 3 of them in a row, at least, somebody always leaves.
Mm.
That's like, I'm done, I'm wrapping up. Somebody always leaves for one reason or another. There was another one, I remember last year, it was the indefinite hiatus of the ace Mike Montero. And then this year it was me. And Tony and I also have a funny history with death matches because Tony is a very funny guy. He's a technical wrestler. Oh my God, I know who trained him too. And my brain is blanking. It's fine. Because the guy was a bit
okay.
of, yeah. So Tony loves he's very theatrical. He's very comedic, but he's a big guy. He can hit you. Like, so he created this match called the Irish Spring Death Match. And basically it's like a weapons match. It's funny. And the loser gets their head dunked in a bucket of water that's full of Irish Spring soap. That's the joke. So he had one before, and then years ago, like pre-pandemic, he and I had one, and the promoter at the end of the night hands us a couple of extra bucks. He goes, okay, you guys didn't have to go that hard. That was so much better than I thought it was going to be out of the 2 of you, and nothing against you guys, but just that was so intense for no reason. It's supposed to be kind of a funny death match. So then Tony is also known to be afraid of me because for 2 reasons. The next time we had a singles match, it was on John Cena's birthday of all days. And that was this thing. He came out and made a big joke about it. I'm going to face John Cena on his birthday, blah, blah, blah. And then I came out, and I hadn't been seen in the Proving Ground for a little bit, mainly just because I wasn't being used for whatever reason. And oh my God, the crowd like exploded. The match went for all of 4 minutes. And part of that was because, besides we wanted to have me beat him quickly, He runs in like full speed to try to get me, and I move out of the corner. He's tall. This is a short ring. His head goes over, cracks into the turnbuckle, open immediately. I didn't know. I'm doing my stuff, and then I look down and I just see blood, and I'm like, am I bleeding? Am I bleeding? No, he's bleeding. Like, I didn't also realize the extent until after, because then we finished the match, and I said, I was like, oh my God, dude, I almost went home, like called to go home immediately. He goes, yeah, I wouldn't have let you. I was fine. I was like, dude, I'm literally covered in your blood. You actually see me after the match ends fully assess how covered I am and go to a mini panic because I didn't like it. I was like, oh my God, like it was all down my, like all over my thigh, all over my arm, my gear, like part of my face. And I'm just like, I was convinced, I was like, I must be bleeding. There's no way he's bleeding that bad. I must be bleeding. Nope. And then there was a whole other story where years later, he brought in this girl to face with me. Her name's Elle Valentine, and she is one of my best friends now in wrestling. Then if I beat her at the end of the feud, I beat her and I got 5 minutes in the ring uninterrupted with Tony. Like, he couldn't run away from me anymore. And I had made, like what a bed of nails is?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine that made out of wooden skewers.
Oh, no.
So I made one, but one of my moves that I call the Bite of 87, it's a Five Nights at Freddy's reference, which is, over there. But it's a curb stomp, but it's more like, it's not like the Seth Rollins on all fours one. It's you're flat, I slap your sides and then kick you in the back of the head and let you go. Now, it's a low impact move, so Tony, with his hands released, could protect himself. It got over huge. Crowd was insane because they see him get like pierced. But I had like filed them down. I built this thing to be safe, and I planned it with a move that would be safe. Tony goes, hey, they love it. And he's whispering, he's like, pick me up. Do it again. And I go to do the same exact move. And he goes, no. Throw me off the ropes and they'll hit me with a line. And I'm like, So inevitably he doesn't give me a choice. He gets up and kind of stumbles to the rope. So I go to do it. And I was like, okay. And he falls in a way that the skewer just gets embedded.
No.
Oh, God. Took him to the hospital. Now, I had been bleeding because the match had been, again, we did more of like a more traditional-ish, death-ish match. But I had to run downstairs. The promoter's cousin takes him to the hospital. He didn't want to go to the hospital. He wanted to stay because he was mad. He's like, oh, I could have gotten such sympathy merch money. And I'm like, takes him to the hospital. I go downstairs and clean myself up because I'm bleeding. I was like, I can't walk into the ER like this. They'll think I'm in need. Clean up as fast as I can. I feel bad because he's going to the hospital again. And again, nobody blamed me for either time. They knew neither time was my fault. And they understood like why I didn't want to do the second bump that way. But happens. I get into the ER. And there's this really pretty, like, Southern Black woman who sees me, clearly sees I'm in gear-ish still, and goes, are you the little girl who did that to that big boy? And I'm just like, yes, ma'am. And she goes, oh, that's so hilarious. You're so cute and tiny. And I'm just like, can I go out back? And she's like, yeah. Let me go get you in there. I sat there. We got there at like 9 at night. No, not even. I want to say it was like 8:30-ish at night when I went into the ER with him. We didn't leave till like 3 a.m. And someone had posted the clip online of the skewer getting stuck. And we immediately sold 10 tickets to the next show.
Wow, 10 tickets.
All the staff were looking at it, and next thing you know, all 10 people were there next show. It was hilarious. And I'm
they should have volunteered as medics in the back. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. I was still sitting there feeling so bad. And poor Tony's like, it's fine. I told you to do it. I should have known better. And I'm just still sitting there like crying, sitting in the chair, just like, I'm sorry. Oh my God. So like, it was only natural that it would lead to, it was a perfect storyline that I guess didn't need much to go with because it was already established that we didn't like each other or we had a past. In real life, we're great. But yeah, again, there were so many different options. So at least it wasn't a bad option.
Yeah,
Like some people have those final matches or moments and they just don't go well or they try to be so in their head about it. I'm
yeah,
happy. I'm fine. And again, I know it's not forever. I'm sure someday my kids are going to want to see it. So, and I'm not going to stop my partners from doing it. Just I won't be in there.
yeah, yeah. And it's just like insane that like for you, like going back to when you first started to now, like, do you think you've changed anything than for when you left the business? Like anything you changed, stopped doing in your matches that you do now, like you did now that you stopped doing like halfway through?
Um I definitely learned to keep a more standard move set from like the middle to the end. I was always trying to change things or do something new or felt like I had to keep up. And then I realized that it just wasn't worth it. And a lot of the stuff I was doing, people weren't doing anyway. So there was no point in me changing something that didn't need to be fixed.
Okay. Yeah, I also saw like your wardrobe that you wore in your matches, like the promo picture you gave me a bunch. The first one I saw, I'm like, I think I told you I was like the one I had to choose was the one that looked like Scoops Ahoy from Stranger Things, like that outfit. I was like, if I don't use this picture, all my friends are gonna be like, what were the other pictures like? The one that was like Stranger Things. What was that? Why'd you mumble, Joe? You didn't use the one that could have been really good for views, like the one that could have been like a Stranger Things reference. And I was like, yeah, I ain't no dummy. I know.
Yeah, so that was from so that is a it was a cosplay I acquired during the pandemic that I never ended up using from this idol anime called Love Live. And one thing that I've been very happy that people at least notice stuff that I like wear, so I appreciate that because I've always, no offense to a lot of my girlies out there, but a lot of American design wrestling gear is boring.
Oh yeah,
And they're repetitive. Everyone wears the same thing. There's not a lot of diversity. Now there seems to be a few more options, but I always designed my stuff after Japan. Because if you watch things like Stardom or Marigold, then the outfits are so much different. They're so much more intricate. They're layers and frills and just very showy. And that's just not something that seemingly translates to American wrestling. It becomes more of it's part of the business, but I've noticed a lot more of it becomes like the sex appeal compared to the characters. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people who absolutely pick they know how to dress for the character they want to portray, but honestly, with some exceptions, characters are kind of a dying breed.
yeah,
Like there are some people who are still good at it, but a lot of people like they come in and they're like, "Oh, this is my gimmick." Okay. So what do you do with it? And then it's nothing.
yeah. They're like, like people like Little Mean Kathleen. Those characters like a dying breed. That like I don't know. I think she's still hurt, but when she was in the ring, that character is just something you'd say the name and they're like, they're not even from the Boston wrestling scene, and they know who
No,
Little Mean Kathleen is. You know what
cuz
I mean?
she's got the intense looks. Like my dad, like when I run shows, like that was one of the names he always brought up cuz he saw her at NCW or I'm trying to remember, excuse me,
Okay.
another show. And he's like, her expressions are on point. She's a tiny little thing, but you believe in that moment that she's going to destroy you. And she's just intense. And those things they're there, but they don't happen. It's one of the things that almost made me want to enroll in some of the bigger, like wrestling schooling programs. And because I want to see how they actually try to teach character development and promos and integrating these aspects into your life, because I feel like I don't see these things. I see talent, and there's nothing wrong with talent, but I don't know, at some point to me, and this goes for regardless of gender, this isn't just a woman thing.
Everybody thing.
This is again, kudos to all the people who can do all the flippy. Am I allowed to swear?
Oh, I forgot to mention you. Yes, we're not PG here.
Okay, no, because I just calling it. This is the way the internet. There's don't get me wrong, amazing to all the people who can do the flippy shit. I can't do the flippy shit. I don't go to the top rope. I'm afraid. I get my feet on the ground. You can just murder me while I'm standing, or throw me up and kill me. Not getting up there for that. But at some point, there's always those phases of wrestling that happen, and the flippy shit phase of wrestling, while impressive, it's boring after a while. Like I was at the Tokyo Dome in the beginning of the year.
Wow.
And I went to Wrestle Kingdom to see Tanahashi's final match. And just the difference there in the atmosphere, how things happen. I went to there is a store there that a lot of wrestling fans know. Actually, there was a few. I wanted to go to the New Japan pop-up. I'm trying to remember what. Hold on. I don't want to say the name right. Yeah. No, it's Tokada. It's like Tokadon. It's it has a lot of wrestling memorabilia. The whole second floor pretty much is like shelves and shelves of luchador masks, and they're all ring worn. So there was Kota Ibushi's from years past. There was like a Rey Mysterio, tons of people, and they had ring worn gear in cases all around the building, and they were expensive. They were like thousands of dollars. Don't get me wrong, maybe not the masks, but like TJ Perkins full gear from, I believe, one of the Wrestle Kingdoms was there, and that would have been like $7,000 because it was all ring worn, signed pictures of him authenticating it. Funny enough, New England local, but international superstar Anthony Green, I found some of his Pro Wrestling Noah stuff because he was there for about a year and a half. And I bought that for the promoter of Proving Ground when I came back because he's like, you buy that for me. And I was like, okay.
You buy that for me.
But they had what I really ended up getting, because I've gotten a few of them in the past, but obviously finding them in America is really hard to do. Even like the Asian markets, like here, like H Mart, don't have magazines really. They were just rows and rows, like a library of VHSs, DVDs, programs, and magazines from just all corners of wrestling. And it was insane to see how it was revered there compared to here. It kind of reminded me of I never went, but you know how WWE used to have their own restaurant in New York?
Yeah. Oh, WWE New York. Yeah.
So they have two places like that in Japan. One's a steakhouse that the name is escaping me right now, but in Shinjuku, which is where we were staying, not even a 4-minute walk from our hotel, was a bar called Dropkick. And unfortunately, the one day we decided to go, it was closed.
Aww.
Now, keep in mind, if you've never been to Japan, don't believe what you see online. First off, it's not what you're going to see online. Maybe parts of it. We get in this elevator and go up to the top and open into a basically non-existent hallway that looks like the sketchiest loading dock you've ever been in.
Oh boy.
Like a back room. Like this is, I was like, did we come in an employee entrance? And there's a sign on the door that translates to Uber Eat orders, go to floor 0. And I'm like, okay. And then I tried to move the handle and nothing opens. So I'm like, okay, we must be in a service elevator, but why was the service elevator facing the street? So we go down to 0 and I ask, I come in and say hello and I ask about the bar. And the guy goes, oh, they're closed today. And I'm like, oh. But, hold on, my laptop decided it's going to die.
That's
So,
okay. Everything that happens for a reason.
but
It's
I
meant for
was
you.
excited. I was so excited because apparently, like, a lot of local talent go there, and we were going because we ran into someone that got one of the guys we were with used to train with in San Jose, this school, Pro Wrestling Revolution. It's primarily a lucha school.
I know about that
And
school.
yeah, and this
Recently.
kid, oh my God, what's his gimmick? But he basically plays like a Mexican version of the Boogeyman. Oh my God, what is his
It sounds
name?
familiar. I think I interviewed
Hold
him.
on. He was in, I'm gonna look him up now because I want to give him a shout because he was, not only was he like a sweet kid, but he was there. He goes, "Oh yeah, like a lot of the indie guys hang out here." And okay, it's not helping.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's not, he's coming back, but like,
Mm.
oh, El Cocoy. There it is. There it is. El Cocoy.
Oh,
And
McCoy.
he is this kid who is basically, he's the Mexican boogeyman. He was in doing a 3-month stint in Dragon Gate, and now he's coming back. He's back in the US. And I believe he's either going somewhere in South America or he's going back to Japan in a few months. But he's a kid who clearly understands his character. And he said, yeah, he goes, I have heritage, but I'm not as familiar with that. I just literally had to Google the story. And the mask he has is so cool. And the kid is a little on the bigger side, but he's found a way. He showed me a clip of something he did where he got bumped by a really big guy and he can't kip up due to his size. But instead of kipping up to his feet, he kips up, sits cross legged, and immediately does this. And I was like, something about how creative that was going. I know what my size is, I know what I can't do, and I'm going to make it work. So shout out to El Kukui because that I
Well,
love when people do little stuff like that with their character. It was so perfect. A character of his size, the boogeyman, kipping up perfectly wouldn't make sense. Kipping up into a seated position where you could just be looking at your opponent and then just being
mm,
like, oh my God, immediate, like, see, you get the assignment. I don't know how much you can actually teach that.
yeah.
Like, some people have amazing characters, and like, I watch as much wrestling on, I realize now this train has gone on a completely separate track from the original question,
Oh no, I love that. They're
but
good.
it's, I love character work because I will always be more interested in characters than I will wrestling. Again, talent, athletics, promo work, great. But if you have a character that hooks people, not only A, does it usually translate to merch sales, because it does, but I don't know, there's just something more interesting. And yeah, every now and then characters get stale and you can be like, okay, clearly this doesn't work anymore. But like, take example, let's look at Tony Storm.
Oh yeah.
This timeless gimmick is like, it
Oh my
started
god.
off like very much timeless and, you know, Marilyn Monroe and going old school black and white. And now it's kind of just indirectly like transitioned to this just sex crazed off the rail bisexual
Oh yeah. She's
who
just
is
everywhere.
literally willing to put glass on her fists and punch you in the face. Like,
Yep.
where did
Literally.
we go? How did we get here?
Yeah. It has moved. This character has moved so far, and me. Everybody calls me a WWE boy, like, or as my favorite New York broadcaster, a Yankee boy. I grew up in the born in born in the '80s, raised in the '90s, survived the 2000s, watching WWE. I went to my first AEW show, and I wanted to see Tony Storm live. Just the character, just the way she moves in the ring, and she's so. And I was like, oh, I want
Right.
to see that cushy booty, like that. That I want to see her do her thing. No creep, no goonin. But I was just like, oof, oof. I want to make that TikTok of me going, oof. ooh, finally, ooh, I finally got a chance to see it. I'm like, lucky. I wish it was me to see it.
It's that TikTok that people do where I watch wrestling for the plot, and then it just shows whoever they're like fanning over the plot, and it
yes.
just shows them, and I'm like, yep, that's
Just got to get the Joe with the gooning face like this.
like, oh,
Her, 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 her really pushing her booty in their face. I'm just like, I should just
bro.
get it with my sister, like staring at me like the big dog and the little dog. I'm just like this, and have my sister like looking at me like this. I'm like,
I I brought I brought my friend Desiree to AEW the last time they were in Boston because a guy I used to wrestle for in Rhode Island, he works at the Boston University Agganis Arena. So um he had tons of tickets. Not like a ton, but like 30. And he was like, "Hey, they need some seat fillers. You get to go for free." So I put it out there to a few people. I got people I knew I would be comfortable with first. Like I didn't want to just put it out there to the world and then people I've kind of put it out there to, do something wrong. So I got my usual group of people, and then I was like, "Can I post it publicly?" The guy's like, "Yeah." So I posted publicly and what I did was I put it in wrestling groups, like roster groups. I didn't do a public Facebook.
well, yeah,
And
you'll get
uh
fans.
Desiree is one of the promoter, Derek Simonetti's cousin. And she goes, "You know what? I'll go. I'm not doing anything that night." I was like, "Cool." I was under the impression she watched. She'd never been to an AEW before. She'd never watched it. She's like, "Teresa, I didn't realize we were going to a televised show to be seat fillers. I thought we were going to just some kind of bigger local show." I was like, "Nah, girl, we're going." And the whole time she's looking at people who are coming out and she goes, "Who's that?" Like all the guys coming out. She goes, "Oh, who's that? Who's that?" And I'm just like explaining, like, for example, like not the varsity blondes, like the frat house comes out because they do like some Ring of Honor tapings before the show
Yeah,
starts. And because we were sitting in a good enough seat that like he could clearly see us, she was looking at him. One of the guys was like, hey. She went to go move. I was like, "Duh, no, I can't explain to your cousin if I let this whole frat house have you." I can't
yeah.
explain that. And yeah, like so many times that she was doing the same thing, just like she's like, "Oh, that big boy." And I was like, "Girl, what we doing here?" And she goes, "Teresa, please." I'm like, "Oh."
That's hilarious. Like with me, like I knew some because like some of my friends they watch AEW, and when I had cable, TBS would flip through, and I would be watching the Yankee game, but I would flip through to see what else is on TV because Yankees are mopping them. So, oh, AEW. I know like two people on that roster, three people.
Yeah.
If And I'll go. When I went, my friend brought me to Philly, and like I never went to a wrestling show in Philly. Wear my red glasses. I had to wear the ones in the lenses because these are screen glasses. Not really, they're bad for my eyes, but they're my actual set glasses. So I had to wear my other one with the lenses. And my friends are going to be in Philly. You may not get recognized. I wore my glasses. You would have thought I was like a celebrity. They were like, "Joe." I'm like, "This is AEW crowd. They're not supposed to know who I am." I'm like, I was sitting. Muscle Man Malcolm was actually in the section over from me,
Oh, really?
and he was like, "Hey, man, I know you." And my friend just like, I don't think he liked him, but he was just like, I was like, "Oh, Malcolm." He's like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing here?" I'm like, "Same thing you are,
Watching the show.
wrestling."
We had a group of guys also sitting in the row with us before while we were watching, and at one point they all disappeared. And we're like, "Okay, well, they're clearly either extras or also seat fillers." Because they put us on the side that the hard cam's on, which is kind of cool because I've never sat on that side. So yeah, that's the side typically that's not as full because that's where the camera is. But I had so many good pictures because I had wrestlers straight looking this way, which was kind of funny. But all of a sudden, all of them, the whole row disappears. And I'm like, "Oh, I wonder where they went." That they were all Mercedes Monet's belt boys for the night. They all came out shirtless, holding a belt. And I'm like, "Oh, well, there they are."
Of course.
And it was just funny. And it was just funny to watch us get put back and forth because occasionally they'd be like, "Hey, people got up and moved. Go sit over there. So we had to run across the side of the arena, jump into the seats, not even sit there for very long, and then be told, okay, come back. Like the people who were actually sitting there. And it took them a while to realize what we were doing. Because like some people were probably like, who are these people just hopping around the arena?
Imagine that TikTok video you eventually find like 5 months later. These
It's like,
people have been running around. Like,
yeah, because I had never done seat filling before. And there were some people who were with us who they found seats that hadn't been sold on the side the camera is looking at, not the side it's stationed on. And they didn't move
yeah.
like the whole show because they took up some spots, but we were on the complete other side and told where to go. So, no, it was fun. I had gone before. I had wanted to go to John Cena's final Boston appearance. I couldn't justify the money.
Yeah.
Especially because it was like not even 3 weeks before leaving for Japan. But, oh God, it's gotten. I mean, depending on where you go, any ticket in theory could be expensive, but WWE has gotten.
They got hard.
I know probably it's not them and it's probably TKO, but like.
TKO.
Like. It used to be such like a fun family thing to go to or go out with a group of friends. Like a bunch of my friends the year prior were like, as soon as they announced when Cena's final Boston appearances, because originally his final match was supposed to be here. And then the Boston didn't want to shell out the money, the rights to the money. It was something like they didn't want to shell out the money that WWE was asking for to allow enough of a final thing. And the mayor said no. So that's why it went to DC. So my friends and I the year before were like, oh, whenever his final match, because it has to be in Boston, happens, we're all going to go. And then we all saw what the prices were. And I kind of wanted to wait. I'm not encouraging people to do this all the time because it might not be worth it. I live 20 minutes from the Garden. So this isn't a big deal for me to go over there. Because if not, I'll just go. There's a really nice ramen place right out front called Morimoto's. He was on Iron Chef Japan. He has his own restaurant. He has one in New York as well. Good ramen place. So if I ended up not getting into the show, I could just go there. Sometimes if you wait till the show started, maybe 10, 15 minutes, not even, you can get tickets on StubHub last minute for like nothing.
Yeah.
Like they dropped drastically. Now, I don't know if sometimes they catch and wait that, but I debated doing it that night and then I was like, nah, I'll just watch it at home. It's kind of a good thing I did because Cena ended up being the first thing that night facing Dominic Mysterio for the last belt he needed, the Intercontinental, because International is AEW. Too many similar sounding names for belts, guys. Get some originality, please.
Yeah, I know.
Like all these companies have all these belts that all have the same names, and I understand there's probably only so many you can have, but like International, Intercontinental, National, American, Continental, like.
I got so mad because now my parents got me my dad got me a podcast belt for Christmas like last year before that.
Oh, nice!
It's actually when we're done we're doing the show. I'll run over and grab it. It's the replica of the winged eagle, but it has the name. You said partially said my title on screen. It's the Podcast International Wrestling Championship. Yes, it has my logo. It has me as the world behind me.
Well, there you go.
In my logo, that's the world with the world behind me, and
there you go.
I'm kind of mad that I didn't ask the guy to put the eagle's head in front of where I am, like right by me.
Yeah.
My running horrible joke is I call it the headless eagle title. Like, I'm like, oh damn, because I didn't have anybody to help me. I just designed it on my own on my phone. My dad's like, what are you doing? Designing.
Exactly. Like sometimes you can only do so much on a phone.
Yes. She sent it to my sister. She would have fixed it, but I just thought it looked cool because my logo was on it. I was just gonna use original idea for that where the world is. I was gonna have the globe with the old school microphone in front of it, but then I was like, there goes the eagle's head, gone, poof, got it, like. Going to jail, cut an eagle's head off. Shit.
Oh, as someone who has seen multiple bald eagles in person, yeah, don't touch them. I'm afraid of. No.
Yeah. I,
No.
I I look at your feed all the time on Instagram, and I send my regards to your little family, your little animals. You know,
Oh
I
yeah, two. We had to put. We're currently babysitting my sister's rabbit because the condo she's in, they think the neighbors below must have moved out and they don't have the heat in the condo going right now. So now the heat in their condo is being affected, and the two cats are fine. They'll handle themselves. The bunny might not. So he's currently here with us, and he is the size of my cat. He is this big.
oh my god.
He's called a New Zealand for anybody who wants to look up a rabbit breed. He's big. His name's Alistair Apollo, and he and the guinea pigs are best friends, and he chases the cat around the house here nonstop. But I had to put him away while doing this because he will run amok in the house if he is not checked on. And he tried to chew the vacuum cord today.
No.
And so he's just chilling right now. And all my guinea pigs are kind of just watching. They're like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm talking."
Talking to your talk. Mommy's talking to herself again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did a podcast last week and it was the same thing. They were just like they do that whenever I do like video calls or something. I had there's a company in Rhode Island called, but now it's going to New York, it's going to Massachusetts, New Hampshire this year. It's called Cabaret.
Mm.
And Cabaret is live music from local bands. It is burlesque, drag, and wrestling.
Oh wow.
We're coming to Brooklyn. No, next Saturday is not Brooklyn, is it? I'm trying to remember. Either they're going to Brooklyn at some point this year. Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Manchester, New Hampshire, and I'm now helping with like video product, like stuff behind the scenes, because I've always enjoyed doing these things. But now in theory, not being a part of the show, I can kind of like work a little more on it and stay involved. Also, like it can become a side hustle to replace. I mean, wrestling didn't make it that I could quit my day job, but it was a nice little income to have.
Mm.
So production stuff kind of replaces that. But yeah, I was having a Zoom call with the owner who was friends with me anyway. And we were just talking about, well, okay, what are the expectations for the footage? What needs to get up there? How do we get people in the door? What's catchy? So right before Martin Luther King Day, because I had Martin Luther King Day off from work, and we met up because I wanted to go to an Asian market, and he was near there, so he met up with me, gave me a hard drive, and what I did was I went through every show, and I have a notebook just filled with, I wrote the name of the segment or the performer or whatever at the top, and it's just full of timestamps of, hey, this clip looked cool. If I was looking at an advertisement and saw that, I'd find that visually appealing. So like, it kind of ties back into the earlier stuff we were talking about of there's still value in someone in the industry if they can't physically wrestle anymore.
Mm.
I feel like I call him my nephew, but he's technically like my nephew-in-law, is not interested in wrestling at all. He loves going to shows. He likes help setting up the ring and breaking it down. He likes grabbing stuff like entrance stuff when it's put aside. He's not really interested in becoming a referee, but he's definitely not interested in being a wrestler. But he likes photography and he likes filming, and he's done stuff as a manager once. But I tell him all the time, it's like, buddy, there's a value in wanting to be a non-wrestling talent, because it seems like there is a shortage on production crew, or people will grab just anybody to say film, and this person has no idea what they're doing. I know here in Massachusetts, there's a handful of camera crew, but one of the most known ones, we call him now Multimedia Dave. We used to call him Camera Dave or Picture Dave. And because he would be there ringside taking photos. And now, because there's basically very few cameramen, available or people willing to do it for the whole show. Because keep in mind, it's a grueling. If you've ever run camera for an entire show,
Your shoulder hurts,
your
your back.
shoulder hurts. It's grueling, and it's not you got to make sure you're not watching the show. You're looking at the shot to make sure, because you could be all watching this and the camera's down here.
Yeah,
You
you're
gotta
getting
let
their feet.
You got to get not be in the way, get the best. You don't want the ring post in there. You don't want the ropes in there as best of the, like, it's not an easy job.
Yeah.
And I'm sure camera people are not getting paid what they should, considering they do sometimes more work than any of the wrestlers do.
And it's sometimes it's a wrestler that's not on the roster that day.
Yeah. But so, like, Dave now became multimedia Dave because he doesn't so much take pictures anymore at shows. I'm sure there's a few occasions where he does, but he's become more of a cameraman for places. And then this is a story that's, time and true again. And again, there's nothing wrong with what this naturally does. You'll get someone who's staff, and then they get involved with a wrestler, and now they want to be part of the show. So we've had people who were like it's women, like, I'm not going to lie, it's women. They were camera women, or they were more like ring announcers, whatnot, but then they get involved with a wrestler and suddenly they want to be their manager, and they give up doing the other stuff, which arguably is a little more valuable to the show. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I tell them all the time, it's like, look, there is almost so much more opportunity in wanting to be production staff, to be booked, or ring announcing, or commentary. Like my friend Zach, the Zote, he's an amazing commentator, and he's getting booked like all over the place for that he's got like a personality and is willing to learn about who he's talking about. Like, there's nothing wrong with not doing the roles that won't get you hurt.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like people think that being in the ring, being with wrestling, you have to be automatically like in the ring doing a match. It's not always that. You
Right.
could be not actually involved in a match and actually do a match. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
I say that?
Yeah. Like we have a perfect example that we have my boys have a show this weekend, and I am just running music for the whole show. I'm doing the paid job to do the music. And
Wow.
like we have a Titantron that we're using. So if people didn't already have entrance videos, I just threw something together graphically real quick. So I just getting paid to kind of just do that. So it's like, okay.
Do it. Done.
There's nothing
There.
wrong with learning how to do other aspects of things. At some point it's very valuable.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I just feel that like if you're involved you're in wrestling and you're doing stuff with wrestling, you automatically have your foot in the door. Like it automatically you think you if you're in the business, you're getting what you're there for. You're either going to be a photographer, you're a wrestler, you have some sort of something going on within the wrestling world, but you don't have to be the big name on the roster. You could be the lowest of the totem pole and still be doing something else if you don't make the actual like card. You could be the manager. You could say, "Oh, tonight you're not actually in the match, Joe. Tonight you're going to be this girl's manager for the night." And what if the crowd sees you and goes, "She does work good with him." Keep the fans like, hey, they get messages from the GM, the promoter. Hey, can you keep Joe with her? We really like the way they clicked. And then you become the manager instead of being the squash match for the second biggest wrestler on the roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, so fun fact that has led to that exact thing is kind of what got me into NCW in the first place. And it has now led to one of the longest going is it true, is it not storylines of my life. So 10 years later. So Norwood is maybe like a 15-20 minute drive from my house, and I saw it's when I was trying to first, like, I had wrestled for 7 years before I really started to travel. And I'm not including the shows I started putting on. So I started in 2008, very late 2008. Pretty much the company I started in, you had to be 18. And I turned 18 in July of 2008. And they already had a program going at the time. So here's how their schedule worked. This is really insane to a lot of people who hear it. This company would go 6 weeks straight every Saturday, with the last week being a pay-per-view. There were 6 big ones in total. Like, so one in February, April, which was like WrestleMania, but it was called Legacy. Annihilation. So I'll take you down this story. Lord of the Ring would happen in February, very last Saturday in February. And that is like, it was called Lord of the Ring. It was the Royal Rumble, which winner of that goes on to face the champion in the main event of Legacy, which was at the end of April. Then there would be something called Annihilation, where the first week back into the program, there'd be a big battle royal, and the last 2 people standing have a singles match. Those 2 people are the captains of basically a Survivor Series style team, where you drafted people to your team. And sometimes it was really cool at times, because you could break tag teams up. You could force someone to be on your team who really normally didn't like you, but you're like, look, I see the value in you. I don't like you, but I want to win. And Annihilation, whatever team won, every single person on that team won a floating title shot. And the captain got to be in the main event of the next show against the champion. You see where I'm going here.
Oh, yeah.
Apocalypse always had a tournament that finished at the pay-per-view to determine, again, number 1 contender. There'd be number 1 contender matches along the way, but
I like that.
And then that was the end of August. End of October was Hellbound. That was pretty much an all hardcore night, because Halloween, Hellbound. The only match that was not hardcore the night is we had our version of the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, which is just pure wrestling, which was really hard to sell the audience on at the time. I feel like that's a hard title to sell a lot of wrestling fans on in general, unless you like really grew up with Ring of Honor or you had a familiarity with Japanese wrestling, or the European scene where technicality is a little more revered than shock and awe. And that ended at the end of then a mini special, but it wasn't really a pay-per-view. On the way would be the anniversary show in November, which would celebrate, whatever year it was of the company having existed. And the last pay-per-view of the year was called Doomsday, culmination of the whole year, and that always had a ladder match. And again, same thing, number 1 contender goes on to Lord of the Ring the next year. You see where we went.
Oh, yeah.
So I started 2008, around 2011, I started running shows in my hometown of Newton, Massachusetts, which is, again, 20 minutes near me, but going the other way. It's where my dad is from. It's where I went to high school. My grandmother lived there. So one nice thing about the company I started in called WAW was, despite the fact that we probably shouldn't have existed, because just not everybody there really should have been wrestlers, it was more about having fun, being passionate, telling stories, and every dollar we made, which, keep in mind, specials to attend were $5. Weekly shows for the community were free. We were paying to put these things on because we enjoyed it, which also was seen as bad. But, which is weird because, I don't know, we were seen as like taking a dump on the business at times. But yet WAW produced some of the a bunch of notable names in New England today. So later, haters.
Yeah.
So I started booking shows in Newton, and we'd travel there once or twice a year. So from 2011 to mid 2019, suddenly those were like the only traveling I did. And 1 or 2 times other companies would ask about me. But the reason I never, and like I've said this on some things, the reason I didn't travel until 2015 is my ex-fiance, I'm not going to get into it too much. It was just a really bad controlling situation. He wouldn't let places book me.
Oh wow.
He didn't trust me to be in their locker rooms without him. And people weren't really going to book him. So we broke up, and then I finally, once I got myself back together, because regardless of any bad relationship you leave, it's still hard if you've been with someone for 7 years to adjust to a new life. Doesn't matter if it was a bad relationship. It's still just like, oh, now what do I do? I'm alone. But I mean, I didn't stay alone. I'm not. But I started traveling in 2015. First show was at this place, Supernova. It was just Nova Wrestling at the time. Or maybe it was just Supernova. I don't know. It's changed names like 4 times, so I don't know what it
Oh my
is now.
gosh.
Oh,
Really?
well, relatively the same. It's still, I'm pretty sure, like Supernova something. But regardless, I think it was just Nova, and now it's Supernova. Regardless, it was this building called the Chop Shop in Rhode Island, and housed multiple companies. So I started working for 3 of the 4 companies in the building. Now, sometimes other ones I wasn't on every show. 2 or 3 of them I'd be on every show. Other ones would be in between. But also, a lot of these you weren't getting paid. And honestly, I kind of didn't care. I was having fun. I was meeting people. I was getting to wrestle in states that didn't get to see me. Then I started going for other places in Massachusetts. And then, so because I became Facebook friends with some of these people, I saw NCW. This is how we now backtrack to the big story.
There we go.
So 2015, maybe late 2000, mid 2000, yeah. No, 16. 16. 16? I don't know. Late 2015. Let's just say that, because I'm trying to figure out the progression of the storyline. I go watch a show in Norwood, and a few people who knew me, and I had become friends with someone who I think he does good on I think he should be on more podcasts. His name is Insane Dick Lane. And Dick Lane, so then the promoter saw me, and we talked a bit, and he's like, you know what? I have an idea. I'm going to bring you in, but we're going to put you in the crowd, and I want you to be a Insane Dick Lane super fan. And what it would progress to over time was Dick Lane's tag team partner at the time, Steve the Turtle, who quite a lot of people had heard of because he either had the notorious following online from the Wrestling Road Diaries, or he was a big part of Chikara. Because he's a character. He's Steve the Turtle. He literally looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That's the gimmick. He stopped wearing a mask after a while. And he and Dick had a big feud the year before. Literally had like a 24-hour match where they literally wrestled all over the city of Norwood. It was hilarious. Like in shops, in a gazebo. It's great. So as a gift, they now became a tag team. And as a gift to Dick Lane, he's like, Dick, I got us a manager. And he was like, this is Delilah. And he's like, oh no, it's the girl from the crowd. Why, Steve? Like, Steve, why would you, Steve, in the Dick Lane voice I can do, oh, Steve, why would you do this? This is actually how he talks. oh, Steve, I do not need this girl as a manager. Well, this girl became his girlfriend. This girl became his wife. This, over the span of years, we had a wrestling wedding multiple years later because he got excited, won a big match, kissed me for the first time, was like, oops, I just kissed my manager. And then I was like, no, I'm into you. It's cool. Then proposes to me. And then we made a whole wedding date. We took all the ropes. At the end of the show, we take all the ropes down. We had decorations. All the wrestlers came out. I got walked down the aisle. I'm in a white dress. I had my sister as a maid of honor. There was a whole bunch of storyline stuff that I'm also not going to just get to, but it was wrestling wedding. And just like wrestling weddings, it got messed up because Steve the Turtle could not handle the fact that kind of he created this whole family, the Turtles in Time, myself, Dick Lane. this guy Curry Boy, who was like a masked luchador that was very similar to Christopher Daniels' Curry Man.
Oh yeah.
But he's hot, he's spicy, he tastes okay. Great gimmick. It was so fun. And he's the comic relief jobber side character of any faction, and it's great. And don't get me wrong, he has the fastest victory in NCW history at like 4 seconds over who is now Channing Thomas. So that's a thing. But anyway, so Steve couldn't handle the fact that kind of he created this whole family, but now this family was kind of like not moving on without him, because we never intended Steve not to be in the family. But it's like, wait, Dick's focus now isn't being a tag team. Dick's focus is his wife and, this pet that we have, apparently. And Steve stole Dick Lane's power gauntlets. Dick Lane is the meta-human supervillain, and he would use the Force as a choke slam. He didn't even have to touch you. It was over like crazy. He busts it out on occasion, but he's focused a little more on actual wrestling. So Steve destroys the wedding, throws all the wrestlers with the Force, knocks over a bunch of stuff. My previous set of guinea pigs were my ring bearers. And I threatened everybody. I was like, you guys bump them after they are put in their carriage, because they were brought to the ring by Curry Boy and then went right over to my mother, who was there. And she put them in her carriage. I was like, you guys bump that carriage and I'll get up and murder you. Then he attacks Dick and then Force choke slams me. In a wedding dress, by the way. So
veiled, everything gone everywhere.
Steve is now the uncontrolled Steve Weiner, and he uses the powers from Dick Lane's gauntlet to also reach into an alternative universe of wrestling, because just like, the MCU or DC universe, there's an infinite number of versions of us in every universe. So Dick is trying so hard to reach Steve and be the good guy. I'm mad that he's not defending my honor more. And this went into the whole next year. He goes into, let's just call it the NCW universe, and pulls out a female version of Dick Lane's creator, Dr. Cobblepot, pulls out a negative version of Curry Boy, as well as he himself is the dark version of himself. I guess there isn't really a dark version of me. I guess I don't get to be part of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's fine. It's funny enough because the female Dr. Cobblepot was played by my real life sister. So we look identical. We're not twins, but we pass as identical. We just have different hair. And slightly different body sizes, but she's smaller than me. And it was great. Then time goes on, everything's going great. Years go by. Pandemic happens.
Yeah.
And situations in real life that clouded took Dick away from wrestling for a while, like very tragic, unfortunate family stuff.
Aww.
So what we did in the time when we came back was like, well, what do we do with me? And the promoter's like, well, we're going to turn you heel, mainly because he also needed it. But we're going to have it that you guys got divorced. We don't know why. It just didn't survive the pandemic. Many relationships, mine did, but a lot of people did not survive the pandemic. And just being forced to be stuck in your house extensively.
Yeah.
I worked the entire time. I don't know what that's like.
I did, but then I worked with too many people. I worked with too many people that didn't like wearing masks, so I got scared. I went home and I just watched TV a lot.
Yeah. I work in healthcare and I care for senior citizens, so I literally care for the demographic that was at risk. So
my sister does that too. My sister does that. But now I'm in senior care also. I don't know if I mentioned. You may see me mention that on Instagram in the chat with you. I don't know if I mentioned. I work in a senior home. I work in Belle Reve in Milford, Pennsylvania. I work in the kitchen. I'm a kitchen guy.
Oh, there you go.
I give food. I give treats.
You know what? But that's important. Food is important, and that's something that they will always enjoy. I am a activities director, but I specialize in dementia care. So I'm a certified dementia practitioner. So that is something I know how to very much
We have
deal
one of
with.
those by me in Belle Reve, and going up there, and I've had some residents that were on the first floor, and they moved them up to the third floor. And the way I am, you never met me in person. I have attention deficit disorder, and I'm also hyperactive. The way I am, I'm very energetic. I'm very hip. Some of the residents don't like me on the first floor because of my energy. My hands moving, flailing, music, dancing. I'm moving
Yeah.
around. I'm hyper. I'm hyperactive. So like, I don't tell them I'm hyperactive, but like the ones that knew me from the first floor, they'll see me and I'll come out of the elevator and they'll see me and I'm like, hey, and the girls in me are like, Joe, oh my god, I'm like, hey, and then I get back to the elevator and go, I act like I know what I'm doing, and run back to the girl. I'm like, what's the code? I need you for a
Yeah.
second. Can you get the code? I need to get out of here. They're
Yeah.
like, you don't remember, Joe? No, I don't remember the code.
No.
But it's something to be around these people, and then now the ones that are on the floor with me, one of the girls, one of my residents knows my schedule. Like she's like, "Oh, I'll see you Wednesday, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll see you Wednesday." And she saw Wednesday. She went, "See you Saturday," and I was like, "Yeah." And I told her, "You know, I'm gonna need you sometimes because sometimes I forget my schedule, so I'm gonna have to ask you. Do you remember my schedule?" She's like, I guess I know my schedule. I guess I know your schedule better than you do. I'm like, yeah. Just hope they never change my schedule, and you'll be in trouble. But sometimes
Oh,
I surprise them. I'll come in on a day off. Like if they ask me to work on a day that I don't work, I won't say anything. I'll try to stay quiet. That's hard as hell for me to do. And I'll show up. I'll be walking the dining room like, hey everybody, what's going on? Or if I'm not supposed to be there and I'm there for some reason, I'll walk in the middle of lunch or dinner go, hey guys. And they're like, Joe, hey. I'm in street clothes, with my hat on, just a regular t shirt. I'm with my dudes a ringside hoodie. And they're like, Joe, what are you doing here? I was like, I just wanted to come in and say hi and hope you guys have a nice day. And they're like,
oh,
oh, Joe, we're good to see you. Some of them will give me a hug. I love it's the best job I've ever had. Like,
yeah, it means a lot to people. I'm actually in a month giving a presentation to the long-term care residents about what it's like to be a wrestler, including showing them footage, because
mm,
they do like having lectures on occasion. We don't get a lot of them. And then my boss was like, why don't you show them what you did? And I'm like, you think they'll be okay with that? Some of them know and they want to see it. So I was like,
some
this
of
will
them
work.
love wrestling.
Oh my God. Like, even if they don't want, they're so intrigued by the world of wrestling and what it entails that they want to see it. So like, and like I said, so kind of going back to what I was saying. So then just years go by and I was always like, I'd ride in the car with Dick and like other people all the time. So we'd always be at the same thing. So then it culminated this year with us basically kind of playing, not fully an homage to like the Golden Lovers getting back together kind of moment,
Yeah.
but it was like there were these guys who really wanted Dick in their group, and Dick was kind of like, I'm not interested, I'm cool being by myself. And they're like, NCW's, kind of a dangerous place right now. You really should have friends. And then I come over and I'm like, hey, and I'm trying to be social, like, or cordial with him, like, despite the fact that we're divorced. And he is like, we'll check out. Look, I'll talk to you later. I'm women's champion there at that time because now they had a women's title because they had women. So we're, a few years full circle. And the guy who's actually out of New York, his ring name's Danny Adam. The tag team's called Carnivora. I adore them. I mean, I'm not supposed to say that because they beat me up a lot, but I
Mm.
adore them as a team. And Danny Adams like, who's that? And he's like, that's Delilah Hayden, my ex-wife. And apparently my presence, despite keywords here being ex-wife, was enough to make him come out that night and cost me my belt.
Mm.
And I freak out on Dick. I was like, why'd you send your new friend out there? I was trying to be nice to you. And he's like, I want nothing to do with you. I don't know what your problem is. And it became a whole year of me feuding with Carnivora, with my buddy Izana having my back at
I love
times.
Izana.
Yeah, like she came out and helped me. And then this whole time, like Dick's trying to like kind of be like, look, I don't want anything to do with her, but why are you guys messing with my ex-wife? Like, she's my ex-wife. which culminated finally in we get back together and we have a match at WrestleFest, which is NCW's like WrestleMania at the very end of the year. And at the end, I'm like, hey, like we've been through it up and down. Can would you remarry me? And we had, and not only did he's like, yes, we're doing it tonight. So we had a second impromptu wedding with a surprise appearance from Steve the Turtle, giving me PTSD in that moment, going, oh my God. Brought us a beautiful, like, decorative chocolate cake to celebrate. Bought a ton of pizza for the people in the back. The whole roster got to eat that night because Steve is such a nice, loving, giving guy. And we got remarried, so I'm officially Mrs. Lane again. And it's so funny because it's one of those things where it's such a great, fun thing of wrestling because I love Dick Lane's great, and it's so funny just how so many people, also for a first, so many people were convinced we were actually married.
Oh wow.
So many people, and I'm sorry if y'all are watching this and this is how I have to break it to you, but like to the point where numerous people like, I'm so happy to see you guys working it out. And then I'm like, because we were always on the same shows and always working with each other a lot, so everyone just assumed, you know, oh, you guys are, yeah, exactly. Guy and girl can't just be friends. Under numerous,
not nowadays. No.
apparently not. So like even at other shows, like people like Dick would like gravitate towards me because we'd be on screen or something at the same time, and he'd be like we'd be all funny at each other, and they're like, all right, you two, we know you're married, move on. And like it'd be in shows that had nothing to do with that, and we just both be like, all right, we're just gonna play this up. I literally got to use it in my second to last appearance in wrestling was for RWA in Rhode Island. And RWA, a girl comes up to me in the crowd who was like, Dick, it's your wife never gets to work here. This is so nice to see her booked for RWA. And I look over at him, have one of our little famous telepathic conversations where we kind of can look at each other and go, we've been friends for 10 years at this point. We can look at each other and go, just being all cute and stuff. And I run right out back to the promoter and I was like, buddy, please. I know I have like zero pull here. I've worked all of maybe 5 shows for you, but like we've never had a problem. Probably actually it's more than 5 now that I think about it. Not the point. I was like, people in the crowd are hanging around with us. They actually think this is true. Please, this is like, I'm never here. Can we play into this? He goes, you know what? I'm so intrigued to see where this goes. Get out there. So it was a Rumble style show because the winner would be the first. Oh my God. What's the name of the belt? I want to say it's like the it's like the Omni Championship or something similar to that, but I don't want to mix it up with what Chaotic. Regardless, it was Rumble style. Everyone came out every minute. So Dick Lane is right before me. And Omni it is the Omni Championship. Dick Lane comes out right before me, and I guess he's been feuding with these guys, like these New England like veterans, Bad Boy Alfredo and Wolverine. So who have made, I know from Wolverine's jacket, like because he has all the years he's made the PWI 500. He has all the years on there, and there's a lot.
Oh, wow.
So I come out, I hit my sling blades on like 2 people who fed for me, and I immediately go to knock them off, and I literally grab Wolverine. I was like, don't touch my husband, and I chop him so hard, and Dick Lane immediately grabs my hand, gets down on his knee, and kisses my hand. He's just like, hi. I was like, I love wrestling. It's so fun.
Yeah. Before we go, because we've been right now for an hour and 14 minutes, and that's amazing. Actually, this season, you're the first one to go for an hour. Normally, it's like 30, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm glad to have you be on for an hour with me. That's amazing. I'm so happy.
Yay! I have a lot to. I could always talk about a lot of different things.
That's why I love having you on, because the last time I remember we just talked about your career, your death matches. So before we go, if my fans want to follow you, if they want to pick up any merch, if you have anything still, is there anything they could pick up still, or do you have anything?
So this is this is my shirt from my faction of the Void. It says Keisha and Lila, which is Japanese for the word demon. Demon Lila, and the Void was our faction. I still have these available. I also have I'm a hockey person, so I made a version of the Luchik Fight Club shirt, but it says Hayden Fight Club because one of the things people know about me from the area is I have a reputation for being a ridiculously stiff worker. Not like gonna actually murder you worker, but like everyone's like, oh, she's snug. Just be ready for it. And that makes me also nervous at times because then I'm like, oh, now people are gonna think I'm gonna hurt them. But Delilah Hayden 18 pretty much on everything. Definitely TikTok and Instagram seem to be where I'm doing a lot. I'm trying to rebuild my Facebook like page, my profile, my Delilah Hayden, my Facebook profile, which people can friend is like 4,000 something people, but I'm trying to get my like page back up. Long and short, I lost it when my account was hacked and I was locked out of my Facebook for like 8 months.
Oh God.
And that was the link page between my personal Facebook page, which people don't friend me on that, and my work page. So that's kind of how they got into both. So I was locked out of both my Facebooks. So that one had like almost 10,000 followers on it, and I
Oh
had
my
to
God.
delete it. And I
How
haven't
did
rebuilt the other one back up yet. I'm slowly working on it. Now that I'm done, I have a little bit.
Yeah.
So Delilah Hayden 18, usually on everything. Just I seem to be one of the only Delilah Haydens in the world, especially if you type Delilah Hayden wrestling. The only other Delilah who I don't even know if she wrestles anymore that comes up is Delilah Doom. I actually don't know if she wrestles anymore.
Delilah Doom, that's the one, the waitress, the weightlifter, the power, the one that did the workouts, right?
Um,
That the one that went to WoW?
maybe. What's funny is I think powerlifting or weights now, it's not even I don't even think of Jordan Grace. I think of Gabby Forza, who I
I
adore.
thought that was I thought that was
Maybe she is. I thought she was very more like colorful,
I'm looking
kawaii
her up right
coded,
now.
but
Yeah, that is her. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I'm looking at her right now. She's the one that did like almost like what's his face from the 80s that everybody that did the gym stuff, the instructor. Yeah.
Oh, like Richard Simmons.
Yeah, she was like a Richard Simmons character when she first
Oh,
started. Her character wore like the band and she wore like the bright colors. Yeah. Delilah Doom. Yeah.
oh,
She got picked up by WoW.
oh, I've watched them a little bit. I'm up and down on how I feel about them at times, just because I did
Yeah.
watch them for a while because AJ Lee was commentating for them.
Yeah.
And I actually, I forget where I was. I was actually like on the road staying at a hotel because I was going to be away from home for a while, like 2 nights in a row. I was going to be like in Connecticut or something. So we just got a room for the night. And somehow that ended up on the local TV. And I was like, sure, I'll watch that.
Yeah. Wrestling. Yeah.
Um, It's wrestling. I'll watch
I watched. You're gonna
anything.
laugh, Delilah. I was in a hotel with Special Olympics because I'm a Special Olympics athlete. I'm a bowler, and I got to get back into swimming because I got to get rid of this belly. But I do other things to get rid of it. But long story short, we were in a hotel and we're flipping through the channels. I asked my buddy Matt, "What do you want to watch?" He's like, "I don't know." He's autistic. He's like, "I don't know, man. I don't know. What? Put something on, Joe. Come on." I'm like, "I know you want to watch something. ESPN." So we're flipping around, and all of a sudden, SmackDown. And I look at him and I
There
go,
you go.
"Do you want to watch SmackDown?" And he goes, "Depends." And all of a sudden you hear, "If you smell the Rock," and he looked at me and goes, The Rock, it's The Rock." And the reception was crappy in the hotel, and he's like, "Leave it on. I haven't seen Dwayne in a while." And I'm like, he's, "I know, but I know him as Dwayne." I'm like, "Fine, we'll watch Dwayne." So we watched SmackDown. The reception sucked, but still, it was cool to watch SmackDown with a Special Olympics athlete that doesn't really watch wrestling. So he kind of can be connected on that 2.9 second merge that we were watching wrestling together. And the girls were like, "What did you watch last time?" And he was like, "We watched wrestling." And the coach was like, "Did he want to watch wrestling, Joe?" And I went, "Yeah." Matt went, "Yeah, I actually did want to watch it. It was pretty cool watching people get thrown around." And
Yeah.
Joe was telling me this and that about it. He's like, "Joe, my coach kind of got on my case this year, like jokingly got on my case." This is how am I going to tie in the end of the story, the end of the podcast. I think I said something to her this year. She's like, "So you're telling me it's fake, right?" I'm like, "No, it's staged. It's
Yeah,
staged
it's
in the
staged.
theatrically
It's
staged."
predetermined.
Yes, yes, she did.
You go drop 10 feet on your back and tell me it doesn't hurt. Tell me that's fake.
I took a wrestling bump this year. You should be, you'll be you're gonna be so proud of me. I took a Sister Abigail and looked like a boss. I took a bump. So
Where did you take that?
at in a promotion in Pennsylvania called High Grounds, and the promoter was kind of scared because she's like, you need to sign this because they're gonna be backstage. And I was a ring announcer. We did an outside show, and I didn't know I was gonna be the ring announcer. So I showed up at my dinner, my Chinese food with my dad. I got to the venue, mall. I'm like, oh my god, I'm late. They're like, no, you're not late. Oh, Joe, the ring announcer couldn't show up. You're the ring announcer, and I'm just like, what?
Cool.
I was like, my reading sucks, and I'm just like, oh, what? You ruin everything, you stupid bitch. That's what I just felt like. And then Lucius said, "You're gonna get involved in the thing and this and that." And then I let Lucius talk, and then he's saying this and that. That's what he sounds like. I'm like, in my head, I heard my grandfather's voice in the back of my head, as the will style, the hair is hanging in the back of my head, sensing a spirit that's with me all the time. And in my mind, I heard my grandfather say, "You should ask him if you could do something in a match." And I said to him, "Um, I have an idea, Lucius, for you." And he's like, "What's that, Joe?" And I said, "I want to take a bump. It's my dream to take a bump. It would. I know my grandfather and my cousins would be proud of me." And he's like, "Really? Okay." And
Okay.
he walked away. He's really buff. Walked away. I'm watching, looking at him. You see, talking to the wrestler he's going to wrestle that day, and I'm watching him like Simba watching the herd come. I'm like that,
Oh no.
watching him, and I'm watching the whole thing like this. And then he looks up, he sees me, I put my head down, like pretend like I'm not watching them. And then he comes back. He's like, "Okay, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. Come with me this way." And then ooh, and stop yourself like this. It happened so fast, Delilah, that it was just like,
It did.
and then done.
It's like the
So,
viral clip of I Show Speed just getting murdered by Braun Breaker
oh yeah,
in that spear. Like, oh, it's like, yep,
that's.
just massacred. You're fine.
I'm surprised no one
No
that
cat.
clip of me taking the Sister Abigail didn't go viral because it was like it's on TikTok. I'm surprised it didn't go viral.
Didn't you put? Didn't you put it on Instagram? I'm pretty sure I saw
Yeah,
it.
it's on Instagram. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
Surprised it didn't go viral. It says it has like 60 something views. I'm surprised it didn't go viral. I'm shocked. I'm so shocked.
I'm trying to convince my cat to come up under the couch.
We love cats, kitties, cats, and animals are welcome. So this is how we'll end this, Delilah.
Yeah.
Wait for the kitty to come up, and then
Come
grab
here,
the
Casper.
kitty.
Ow,
Aw.
come here. Hey, can you get on screen for me? He's only wants attention because my parents aren't home. They are not, they are, there's a new, Casper, look at the screen. No. There is, for people who are Paul McCartney fans, there's a Paul McCartney movie out. I guess it's like a special documentary. And my parents are big Beatles fans. Hi, bud. Casper, he's 7. And he, very much a mama's boy. He's attached to my mother all the time. He only comes in to see me when he wants me to play with him or he has nobody else in the house to ask for attention. All right, baby. Sit here. Say goodbye. This is my little cat.
Hi, Casper.
Beep, beep,
So
beep.
I'll end it like that while you on the screen. I am Joe Panther III,
I'm Delilah Hayden with Casper.
and
Bye.
we will catch you in the next one.